of the Graduate and Placements Jobs Fair that is happening this Wednesday, the 18th, from 12 till 3 o'clock. Just a quick reminder, we do have an accessibility hour, which will be at 11 till 12. So welcome to the session. So this workshop's objectives. So one, we would like to help you identify the importance of networking and prepare to attend for the final job fair. Secondly, we want to help you discover some simple tips and strategies to help improve your confidence and so that you can network successfully. Three, we want to help you explore some networking opportunities, both in person and online. And finally, our goal is to help you create a pitch so you can utilize when you're introducing yourselves, and it can help you get those conversations started, possibly secure some opportunities or work placements at the forthcoming fair. So welcome. So one thing I want you to all note is networking at the fair is a fantastic opportunity for you to connect with professionals, gain some insights into potential career paths, and expand your horizons. It's not just about who you know, but who you will get to know. So seize this chance and to build some meaningful relationships and expand your networks. So we hope to be offering some exciting opportunities, and I cannot wait to share with you all the wonderful employers who will be joining us on Wednesday. So how can networking help you? So networking can help you find some work opportunities, which is actually what we are hoping you will get in this upcoming fair. So we will have some opportunities for some temporary work, some permanent work, some voluntary work. All those different kinds of employers will be there and available with those opportunities for you. Secondly, it's also really important to network so you can build some connections. So even with this fair, you'll get to meet lots of different kinds of people from different industries. It can also help you start to build a reputation and build your name, start to get to be known. And it can also inspire you into going into different sectors and different careers you may not have considered before. Also, networking can also help you with some personal development. So this will be a new experience for many of you. It can also help you build some knowledge because you can actually start to test drive. Oh, can I actually pitch? Can I actually connect with an employer? You can start to test all this in purely by networking in our upcoming events. We hope that by engaging in this experience and by networking in our fair, it will help boost your confidence. This is what we are hoping that you can achieve during this upcoming session. There's a note in the chat there, Jenny. I can see there's a question in the chat. No, we're good.
That's just me, just to say if there is any questions, just to pop them into the chat.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jenny. So the thing about successful networking, it's about connecting, not selling, connecting. So this is where you're simply talking human to human, with an employer. This could be the person who might actually give you an opportunity, or they might actually become a colleague in the future. So it's also about asking for advice and opportunities. So an organization might send someone from a particular department, but they might have actually maybe gone through the same kind of processes that you would go through. So maybe that person went through a graduate internship. Maybe that's what you're actually wanting to do. So that's a good way to actually just have a conversation and seek the opportunities that will be available to you. I've just spotted a question in the chat there on whether or not you should have a CV. My recommendation is actually to email yourself a copy of your CV. So if you meet someone who is like interesting and they want to, can I have a quick look at your CV? You can just simply take their email and forward your CV on. So when you're attending the fair, please have an online copy of your CV, email to yourself, and simply forward it to them. It's a much sleeker way of doing things, and we want to save the planet. You shouldn't be printing all these CV. Perfect. Thank you, Joel. So again, so back to connecting. And you should also be really open minded. There's no judgment. You are surrounded by people who are supporting you to be the best self that you can be during this fair. So it's about two-way conversation. So if you meet an employer and you have this connection, you're having this amazing conversation, it's just basically a two-way conversation. You're trying to find out about them, and they're also trying to find out about you. So show some interest and be absolutely prepared whilst having the conversations that you'll be having at the fair. Another thing is have some specific intention before you come to the fair. So maybe at this point, I might recommend everyone who is on the call to just maybe make a note of think about it. Why do you want to be at that fair? Is it a particular employer that you're actually going to meet? Have a think of there must be something driving you wanting to attend this fair. So be really specific with your intentions of why you want to attend. If there's someone or an organization that you want to meet, um, do you know who you want to meet, or do you know like what organization that you're trying to connect with? Make a note of it and actually search around the fair and ensure that you have those quality conversations when you see them. Another thing could be, what do you want to achieve? Could it be that you just wanted to make a connection, get someone from the company to know you? Are you actually seeking a job? And if you are, what preparation are you going to take before you actually meet the organization? I'm about to reveal the number of organizations we have coming on Wednesday, and it's a number of organizations. So be really, really specific with your intention of what you want from the fair. Right. Finally, we're talking about taking notes. So, if you have a business card, you might or you might not. That's fine. But if you have any LinkedIn or your CV, I can see there are a few questions to do with your CV. Our recommendation is it's really difficult these days to actually carry around a paper CV. And if an employer is going to be meeting 700 students, they're not going to carry away and read 700 CVs. But if you make a connection with them and they give you their email and then you email them your CV, you've started a conversation. There's a good chance that when they're thinking of an opportunity, they're more likely to go back to their email and then see your CV, and they can actually forward it to another hiring manager within the organization. So a CV is I would say, a sustainable way to do things. It's a more professional way to do things, and it's the most up-to-date way of actually connecting with an employer these days. And then finally, follow up. So imagine you've met this amazing employer, you've had this amazing connection, and ask for their details. It could be their email address, it could be their LinkedIn profile, but don't just ask for it and keep it in your back pocket. Ask for it and follow up. Remake that connection outside the fair space. So this could be just sending them an email. I'm really delighted I was able to meet you. Um, could we have maybe a coffee? Do you have any opportunities coming up in your organization? Just make sure that that good connection that you made at the fair is remembered beyond the fair. So they will remember you, and chances are they will think of you when they have opportunities coming up. Okay.
Can I
Next,
just ask sorry, Beth, can I
yeah,
just ask a couple of questions that are coming through?
yeah, sure.
So somebody's attended a job fair recently and talked to a lot of employers, and they were asked to send their CV to the specified email. So isn't it the same when we search companies online and send the CV?
I don't think it's the same, because if someone specifically asks you to send a copy of your CV, there's a good chance that they're either part of the hiring team or part of like a project management team. If they've specifically asked you to send it, that's not like a cold call. You're not just sending it to a registered address. There's a good chance that there's a hiring manager overlooking that email that you've been asked to send your CVs, and there's a good chance that they will be getting in touch with you. Also, if you know the name of the person who asked you to send the CV, I would actually do a follow-up email. Hi, I have now sent the CV to the specified the email that you asked me to. Please, could you give me a progress update? I hope that answers the question, Jenny.
Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. So, talking about following up with employers and making the best of the opportunities. So, you're going to meet lots of employers in the next few days. On Wednesday, you'll be meeting loads of employers at the Graduates and Placements Fair. It's really important, just to reiterate, you can follow them on LinkedIn, you can connect with them on Cultural Hubs, on Meetup, you can connect with them on other university events. There's a good chance that an employer will do more than one event with us. If you're on social media, that goes for Twitter and Facebook events. Many of these employers might actually be doing other events. So start to do a bit of detailed research and follow up on other opportunities that the same employers are offering. So there is a difference between networking with someone online and networking with someone face to face. And yes, I agree with you, Jenny. In both situations, both in face to face and online, please be smartly dressed for the fair, and when you meet those employers online as well. I really recommend being smartly dressed if you're engaging with any employer or someone who might actually be your hiring manager or your colleague in the future. It's really important to make a good impression. So if you want to know what time the fair is on Wednesday, it's coming up on another slide, but we will be starting from 12 till 3 p.m. and we have an accessibility hour from 11 till 12 p.m. So I want to give you all a chance to have a quick go at doing your pitch. So you can imagine us as your trainers and maybe the employer that you're meeting, or you can visualize this employer that you want to meet. And I want you to just take 4 simple steps and start to create your short story. So your pitch, this is your 60-second pitch. This is what you're going to probably tell the employer. This employer you've been dreaming of meeting, you've identified that they're coming to our fair. How do you actually start speaking to them? What do you say if you just had 60 seconds? So, 1, who are you? So spark some interest. I am ex-student graduating from Y subject, and I'm graduating this year and I'm ready to work. Show some enthusiasm and really spark an interest where they want to get to know more. Number 2 is, what do you do? So what can you offer them? So I am a great leader. I've been leading a team at the local cafe where I work, or I've been part of the football team or the netball team. Showcase that what you can do and what your skill sets are. And if you identify the kind of employer that you want to work for, so say, for example, you want to work for Barclays or Deutsche Bank or something, you can really showcase, I'm highly organized, I've got great analytical skills, I've got great numeracy skills. Whatever it is that you know that the employer wants, your conversation, your 60 seconds with them should have that. So they remember you and think, right, that person has exactly what I want. So that should be your number 2. I will also be sharing the list of the companies in the following slides. So this will help you build your story as well. So number 3, why are you unique? So what's the impact? What are your key skills or your experience? Number 4, what's your short story? So like I have been part of amazing projects in the Liverpool City region. We've won awards, and these accomplishments have helped me build my network and my own self-confidence. Something along those lines. And then finally, what are your goals? So you've sparked interest by getting the person really interested in you, but it's really important to finish that conversation by really clearly stating, what are you looking for? Or what are your next steps or action? So I can imagine for many of you as students, you might be wanting to say something like, I am now completing my university degree next July, and upon graduation, I would like to join your organization. Please, can we connect now, or something along those lines? Please be very careful not to use any jargon or detail. Take this time to actually make your pitch for 60 seconds. And this goes for everyone. Any chance you're meeting an employer, so whether you are level 4, level 5, or level 6 student, it's really important to have this 60-second pitch. And what I've given you on the screen right now are just hints and tips to help you build your unique story. Okay? Do we have any questions?
I think I've worked my way through some of these, so I think we're all good so far. Thank you,
Fabulous. Okay. Okay. So I know there are quite a few questions of people asking, when is the fair? When is it happening? So the big day is actually on Wednesday, the 18th of October. It's in the Student Life building, the one right next door to Lime Street. The fair's times are 12 till 3 p.m., but we do have an accessibility hour from 11 to 12 noon. This accessibility hour is quieter, and it's easier for you to actually get around, and you can have some additional support and help if you don't like really loud spaces. So this is designed purely to help students get the most of our fair. So our Student Futures team will be there. We will be based on the ground floor, the mezzanine floor, and the first floor. So the fair will be over 3 floors. I also wanted to let you know that there are over 60 organizations, that's 60 organizations coming in from various sectors. This fair is valid and useful from every single kind of students that we have. That goes from level 4 to even the level 7 students who's asked that question, and even PhD students, because our organizations hire all different kinds of students, and they've got different kind of opportunities from, as I said in the beginning, part-time, temporary, and permanent work. We have research opportunities as well. This is just your chance to get to know or make a connection with each of those organizations. If you need to build your confidence, we also have our team members available during that space, so you can always reach out to any of our team members. We've got our careers advisors also on standby. We will have student ambassadors also available. So these teams will all be available to help you during the fair. So I've already talked about networking. It's really important for you to just gain some industry connections. And this is one amazing way that you can do this. So in one day, you could actually get to meet 60 different organizations and make connections. So what we ask you as students is to go there prepared. Make sure you have your CV ready on standby. So if you make an amazing connection, you can easily forward it on. Go there well dressed and prepared. Be interested in what the employer is telling you. Ask questions, and know that this is a 50-50 thing. They will only give you as much as you give them. So if you show you're interested, there's more likelihood that that person is going to warm to you, to connect with you. So that's why we're actually hosting this webinar, to get you as prepared as possible. You're going to find out all the information that you need there, and we will be there on standby if you need help with anything. That's what our team does. We're there to help you build your confidence as you approach these employers. Be very prepared for jobs and different kinds of placements. Some employers will be coming in with graduate placements, so meaning you'll need to be putting in an application in a highly competitive environment. Purely by them seeing you, they can put a name to a face. So sometimes actually physically meeting them can actually put you in good stead, because you're not just a name coming in applying for one of their placements. They can actually connect with you. And many of our students have actually said they connected with their employers at one of our fairs, and that is where they started to build this relationship with the organization. There are many ways, as I said before, that we can help you build confidence. We actually have some VR headsets that are available. So if you want to have a go at being given a bit of a mock interview, our Student Futures team will also be on standby, helping you maybe give it a go on a VR headset. It's a bit less daunting, I think, because all you need to do is just simply wear a headset and you can work on a particular skill and then go off and actually meet an employer and put what you've practiced personally in actual practice by meeting the organization. And as we said throughout, the Student Futures team is on hand to support you. Give you advice will be in the career zone and also in the startup hub, but there's a good chance that you will see my colleagues all over the fair, because this is one of our highlights of the events. And we, as I said, we are here to support you make the most out of it. Okay. So I've already said there are over 60 plus organizations. This is just a very top level approach. As you can see, we are very, very proud to have attracted this high level. Many of these are blue chip companies. I'm delighted to see from Bentley to Aldi, from Matalan to the NHS, the Wirral Council will be there. For any of you who would want to work with British Airways, please prepare your CVs. British Airways will be there. From Fujitsu to Warburton, Airbus, we have loads. We cannot possibly even fit them into one slide. So we are absolutely delighted, and we've prepared all of this for you. So I hope what I've been saying is starting to make sense. There probably will be finance placement roles, because a company might have, it could be, for example, I might be wanting a role in Matalan, but it doesn't necessarily mean I have to go into customer care. You could go into marketing, you could go into finance. Each business has different sectors or sections within each business. So we cannot possibly fathom the different opportunities they will be bringing. The only way to find out is to actually have those conversations with their employers. So I hope that answers the question in the chat. Okay, so how do you prepare? I think we've already kind of mentioned this because it came up about twice in the chat. Please send your email, send your CV to your email. Yeah. And also prepare some questions. Now that you know the list of employers, and there are going to be many employers, I encourage you to actually have a look at our website to see the full list, or just simply attend the fair. Prepare some questions you would like to know from an employer, and prepare a LinkedIn profile that you can immediately connect with them. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, maybe this is a good motivating factor to actually prepare one, because for so many organizations right now, a CV is great, but some people just get hired using their LinkedIn profile because it's basically an online CV, and it's a network used by professionals. So please consider having a LinkedIn profile, even if it's purely to connect with the employers. That's one of the fastest ways that you can connect with many employers as well. Okay, any questions on that section, Jenny?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions about the different types really of the roles and the companies there.
Yeah.
I know from last year we did have a QR code that you can scan when you come in.
Yeah.
And it will give you a list of all of the companies that are there and all of their opportunities that they are recruiting for.
Yeah.
So that might be a good way for you when you first come to try and to make sure that you have got that, and then you will know exactly which ones have got those availability for you that you might be interested in. But please don't allow that for you to rule out other organisations that don't necessarily have those roles right now for you, because you can still take that opportunity to go and speak to them, connect with them on LinkedIn, and still find out then about future opportunities as well. So don't just necessarily look at the list and think, oh, well, they're the only ones for me, because there might be potentially more in the future for you as well. Hopefully with the list, it's still getting updated, so we're still finding out from employers what jobs they're going to be bringing to us as well. So we have got a list, but it's not the finalized list just yet, but it will be on the day. So when you do come along, you'll be able to scan it. We will have some quiet space as well. I think there is a room up there. I'm not too sure of the room, but we will find that out on the day. You can just ask for the quiet room or find a quiet area. And we would recommend, once you've figured out which employees you do want to speak to, have a look at what questions, maybe go make use of some quiet space and think about those questions maybe before you go and approach them. And I did mention in the chat, we do have our little postcards. So if you are struggling on what to ask an employer, you might find, just go over to our Career Zone reception and you'll be able to pick up one of our postcards to help you on the phone. It will just give you a couple of questions maybe to get that conversation started. So if you feel that you aren't that confident and you don't know what to say, it will just give you some tips on there as well, just to help you, because we all feel like that initially. And once you've spoke to one or two, it will start to feel a lot more natural to you as well. So hopefully I've answered everyone's questions that I've seen there in the chat that I've not yet responded to. But if I haven't, please feel free to just keep typing them into the chat and I'll continue to answer those as well. Thanks, Beth.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. The postcards are so helpful. I wish I had that when I was a student. If you had some ready-made questions, so you can just simply turn up at the fair, pick up a postcard, you'll get a little site map, so you can actually start making like a treasure map, so to speak, and you can start making your way around the fair as well. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Jenny. So we're coming towards the end of the session, but we've discussed quite a few really good questions. But if you have any questions or if you think of something, please keep sending them into the chat and Jenny and I will be answering them for you. Remember, we are your careers, employability, and startup team. So if you need to give us a call, you can give us a call on 0151-231-2048 or 3719. You can email studentfutures@ljmu.ac.uk or simply have a look at our upcoming webinars, any kind of support that we have for you at ljmu.ac.uk/studentfutures. I will end the session now. And I will just simply refer to Jenny to end that.